Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, either back or for the first time. Today we'll be going over a very quick review of Monster Girl Doctor, an anime that I figured, hey, why not watch while I was sick? and I have mixed feelings about it. In many ways, it leaves me longing and wanting for more, in a very negative sense, not like, oh my god, I can't wait for next season. One of the ways I do kind of appreciate it, especially for like the main character kind of being, it's not massive, but it is a noticeable difference that I do appreciate, and also kind of being outraged by a few things. So yes, we'll get over that today. But first, be sure to hit the like button, follow me on all my good places you can find in my link tree, and be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button. Thank you very much. So, what is Monster Girl Doctor? Well, I mean, deeper than the title suggests. It is the story of Glenn and nicknamed Saphe, a Lamia? The snake girl. Glenn, a human doctor, they specialize in treating monster girls, which is, I don't know, kind of like a vet that specializes in treating every animal. It's a pretty broad category. Nevertheless, it follows her adventures through the course of the season with a surprising political intrigue, with both of them having a connection to major going ons in the world, a world that has recently left behind a centuries long war and has founded a city that is something of a hodgepodge of all the different well, species, shall we say. I was about to say races, but not quite right there. Yes. Uh, and where was we? Oh, ADHD, ain't it fun? Yes, the story of Glenn and Saphe is basically them moving from problem to problem, season this episode to episode, meeting different and varied monster girls and sorting out their problems, typically in a somewhat erotic way, whilst also progressing the general plot of the story, which again is that political intrigue stuff, as well as addressing the ongoing illness of the matriarch of the city, the one who founded it and named it, a dragon girl who basically is divine. Like I do think it is very what's it Eastern influenced, where it's like oh dragons are divine creatures. She came down to Earth, got tainted by it, and is thus in a dragon girl form, corrupted. And she has this illness and believes it is divine punishment upon her. So yeah, it takes quite a bit of work to talk her out of that and actually fix her up. Yes, it takes literally the whole city and several episodes going step by step to make sure everything will work out and everybody is on board, and then convincing her to give life a shot again, which is honestly nice. Um, Major problem with Glenn is like he needs something more. He comes off as rather bland, but he's also not like a massive perv. Like again, I said it was happening in a semi-automatic fashion, solving some of these problems, but he's never a perv about that. Not in the moment or after the fact, which honestly was very refreshing. I was very much there for that. Just the je ne sais quoi, that Sigma male grind set, just focusing entirely on his job. But. He just needs more, and it got me contemplating. Like I wanted more defined about this character, but he is like pretty selfless and compassionate, and puts himself in danger in order to help others. And I was like, if this was like any other profession, I that would be more than enough for me. But yet, for some reason, I'm holding him to a higher standard because he's a doctor, and I kind of expect that as a bare minimum. But is that fair? Should that not be enough to be considered a good person, despite your profession of healing the ill? I don't know, but it certainly got me thinking. Now, You might be wondering, what's Saphe going on about? I was talking about Glenn's whole thing throughout this, his main story arcs. What's Sapphy's deal? Thirsting for Glenn. Turns out they were childhood friends, again, from rivaling political factions during a centuries long war. Virtually sent to his. Spoilers for all this, by the way. I should be abundantly clear. God, I gotta get in the habit of saying spoilers way earlier on. Whoops. There it is. God, I can't stop myself. Yeah, originally sent to his house in Assassin, got ill, was looked after by Glenn, which got him interested in learning about how to be a doctor, and started an infatuation with Glenn for Saphe. Sounds all good, right? Sounds like a perfect, sweet romance. Except for the fact, she kind of feels entitled to him. That's not the best feeling in the world, constantly getting passive aggressive whenever anyone else shows interest in him, who I guess based on the anime I'm led to believe is a reasonably attractive person with a decent profession, so gets his fair share of looks. And like every time she gets super mad about it, and it kind of gets uncomfortable, especially later on in the season after a friend of hers who she's been talking to about Glenn uh runs out to meet them out at this bird person village. It's not really important. I list of secondary characters here on what's it Anime Planet that I'm just going to be referencing later to go into things. And the bird person they were there to treat isn't even listed there, so. But yeah, a friend, Arachne or something, it's a spider person, it's the pun. What's it? Goes there to just try and, forcefully take what is she believes is her friends, because that's just how she does. Steals her clothes, and now she's going to steal her man by forcing herself upon Glenn. Yeah, not. Yeah, that's not great. Not great at all. And then Saphe has to save. What's it? Je ne sais quoi. Glenn. Why did I struggle with that name? But blames him for it and gets so angry, she chokes him out with her tail. And I need to explain what's wrong here? Do I need to? Like, you'd say, like, any guy accidentally chokes out a girl that they're interested in, not their girlfriend, mind you, which was ought to be terrible, like, someone they have, like, no romantic connection to whatsoever, just a longing for it. Like, no obligation on the other person's part at all. And then choke them out. Choke them out. I gotta get used to where my hand should be from this camera angle. Oh well. It's not great. Not great at all. And again, she's supposed to be the main girl. The one you root for most of all. The one the show, if it goes on long enough into more seasons, who knows, will probably eventually show them getting together. Please no. This, honestly, I haven't mentioned it so far, but let me just pull up the name. Secondary character, despite featuring in just about every episode. Scylla, I want to say, it's been a while since I watched it, forgive me if I mess up the pronunciations, is a centaur woman who they helped in the very first episode and becomes a recurring character because she develops infatuation with the doctor and is head of a politically important house. They had a curling and trade and all that. And, the father's like, hey, a husband would be great. And before, like, it's a trope, but also, like, the way she meets him is at a gladiatorial arena where she's partaking, but, like, is suddenly having a unforeseen losing streak that nobody can really explain after she was the queen of said arena. And yeah, not great. She doesn't really want the help, but handmaids insist upon it. And that gets into a whole thing about the relationship there, which nice world building, but irrelevant to what I'm saying here. Back onto it. Infatuation with Glenn, and whereas like Saphe feels entitled to Glenn. God, take a drink every time I say that, and you kill yourself. Anywho, Tassila desires to earn his love and devotion, wants to woo him over, which is instantly more appealing to watch and engage with. Like at one point, they fear, like at the bird village, a giant will come and destroy everything out of pure, unadulterated malice. And whilst everyone's evacuating, she's going to go and meet the giant in an attempt to stall it so everyone else can get away. And her one thought is like, hey, if I live through this, I'd just love to have a dinner with Glenn. You know? That's really sweet. She's, again, just the desire to be worthy of Glenn's love as opposed to entitled to it. Give me, give me, give me. It's far more appealing, and it just baffles me how, like, no one said anything, no one questioned it. Okay. I'd much rather, future seasons focus on, a bit more Tassila and, what's her name? Skadi? Let's go with that pronunciation. The, Dragon Girl who founded the city they live within. I'm not looking up the name. No. Again, her story arc is like depressed, wanting to see the city flourish, but believing like this illness afflicted upon her is just natural consequences of the corruption she faces from coming down to Earth. But Glenn is able to talk her out of it and, save her life. And that does, again, lead to an infatuation, which I would love to see explored more in future seasons. It doesn't get a bunch of time, because that's the end game of this. But, like, the two of those are so much more engaging, interesting, and just genuinely healthy than what we're seeing with Saphe, someone who just feels entitled to Glenn and constantly sabotages and undermines every other opportunity for him to meet somebody else or for somebody else to approach him. Because again, they've been together for years running this running a local clinic as well as training in medical school, and has never really made a move. I think there was something about like a school teacher, Cthulhu, I want to say, an octopus lady, kind of hangs over the series like a wet fart. It's could have done with scaling back her involvement a great deal. Yay. Aging population in Japan. Couldn't have anything to do with literally every bit of media insisting like young adults, not just teens, but actual young adults not engage in anything at all until, I don't know, they're married or something. No way that could have a connection. No way. Anywho, where was I? Uh, yeah, just she had plenty of time, like all the time in the world, and other people are showing interest and being direct, and as opposed to like being direct with Glenn herself, saying, "Hey, I think I love you. I'd like to explore what this means for us." She's just passive aggressive all the time, and like, remember what I said about that dinner? Tassila, it gets it. And Saphe tags along. Not in the way like it's a group dinner or anything. Like it's clearly a dinner between Glenn and Saphe, but Glenn and Tassila, but Saphe is just off to the side, being passive aggressive about everything. I just, oh boy, it got me mad. It got me mad, especially because that is after the whole choking incident, which the anime frames as Glenn's fault for not like recognizing and reciprocating Saphe's feelings, which or at the very least, not directly engaging with it, but like, is it on not on her to be direct and forthright about what she wants? You know, not be ambiguous at all, make it perfectly clear, say the words. But like after probably at least 5 years, I just which also another little thing going for this. I don't have much of a problem. It's like a lot of anime being set in what's it, the whole high school era thing. I enjoy it, fair enough. But I do appreciate it when things are set outside of that age range, and well, this fairly much is. This is post college young adults trying to find their way in life. God, I just remembered how much Cthulhu was hanging over. Like everything was framed as like a bloody challenge. Uh, Anywho, it's just deeply unappealing. The whole romance arc with Saphe. They need to seriously address and course correct that, or what would be a little bit more brutal, but honestly nice character development is like je ne sais quoi. Glenn actually pursues either Skadi or Tassila, and by extension, apparently because of their customs, the adopted handmaidens that she has, which wild. One of them ends up in a BDSM session to help like consecrate again, culturally relevant for some reason. It works, which also, again, pure professional throughout all of that. No, no lewd smirks, no jokes, no nothing. Is just like, yeah, this is awkward, but it seems to be helping. Which, I mean, really like that. Like, here's the lack of enjoyment in that, despite what is happening. It does make him somewhat likable. I need more from Glenn. I need something more, like a quick wit, or just like a, him having any interest outside of just medicine. Just anything. Anything. But yeah, personal story to later that, like when I was super young, I was worried. I felt like a lump somewhere there shouldn't have been. And I went to a doctor to see about that, and it was very embarrassing. Fairly attractive woman, but again, she was a absolute professional throughout all of that, and did a fantastic job. Checked nothing, thankfully. And yeah, I just really appreciate that, and that's the kind of energy Glenn has throughout this entire series, which again I like, but like for the amount of what's it again semi-eroticism of this, it's like I don't know, like maybe if it, especially because they have to try and keep it like PG-13, just pick a lane. Either just go the full awkward route about some of this stuff and what's it, give Glenn a little bit more humor throughout of it, but without being so, eroticized. Or just go the full 18 plus and have him be the cut professional. Like, it's this middle of the road thing that's making me so hard to latch onto this. I just don't know what his character is supposed to be beyond dedicated doctor. And yeah, if it's, I'm already not comfortable, like, say, showing this, listening to this without headphones on in public. Why try and keep it to a certain age range? Just go full force. Uh, but yeah. Anything else of note? Anything else? Oh god, the joys of not being able to edit this. Because my poor, poor laptop. Oh, I need to get money, a loan from the bank, maybe. Anywho, that's rambling. Rambling. Anything else? Any other characters? Um, the only other one of note is a zombie bodyguard to Skadi. Oh, Skada. Oh god. who has a deep mistrust for medical professionals because, a cultist medical professional made her, so that tracks. But yeah, um, that's just kind of interesting. Liked her well enough. Kind of a buff girl. You don't get to see those too often. What else? What else? The Arachne one. The what's it? Je ne sais quoi. Spider Girl that tried to force herself upon Glenn via circumstances of having to stave Skadi, needing someone very skilled in like sewing things up, i.e., the arteries that they'll have to like disconnect from this like parasitic heart of hers that's trying to place a real one, but is going to end up killing her. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while. Anywho, needs to be trained up by Glenn, and they use what's it? This undead bodyguard. Can I grab her name real quick? It was some reason up higher where she was. Kunai, I want to say. Mispronunciations abound here. It's a nice interaction, and she eventually starts to fall in love with Glenn, which, okay, development, but also like maybe apologize, you know? Maybe say that's inappropriate, and I'm deeply sorry for whatever pain it might have caused you. Just, again, it's just like, it's a lot to take in. Like, in the space of one episode, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna force myself upon you. Oh, you're getting choked out now. Oh, it's your fault. This happened. It's anything. I felt like there was something else I wanted to cover. Covered Kunai. We covered that. Oh yeah, just my general frustrations. Again, I'm always interested by the concept of like polygamous relationships and the character dynamics in it. It's good shipping material, good drama, just something I really like to sink my teeth into. And you think an entire genre of anime titled hermit anime, polygamy would satisfy that, but no. It's always just a will they, won't they with like one central protagonist and a bunch of other people interested. Like the closest this show gets to it is like again Tassila and her adopted sister handmaiden things. It's weird but fleshed out society. So, but yeah. It's just I feel like it's an entire genre of anime that is foundationally built upon false advertisement. So, but yes, those are my rambling thoughts there. Desiring for more from Glenn, but liking him well enough, kind of frustrated and outraged at Saphe and Arachne, or whatever their name is, and really hoping if there is a season 2, it does focus a lot more on Tassila and Skadi and the relationships with Glenn and developing that. And maybe not having Saphe constantly in the background being passive aggressive, preventing any development of a romance outside of her own, whilst also not taking any initiative to develop her own romance with Glenn. That would be swell. You know? You know. You know. I just, again, like, she's not unlikable in any other way. It's just like, again, pure entitlement to Glenn and takes it way too far. Way too far. And as a friend, that takes it even further than she does, which is not pleasant at all. Oh well, those have been my rambling thoughts about Monster Girl Doctor. If you like that genre of stuff, you'll get along with it just fine. If you really hate it, I'd recommend avoiding the stuff I'd say is really good. So the middle of the road stuff, meh. God, in all other aspects though, use your own judgment to figure out if you'll have a good time with it. Anywho, with all that out of the way, once again, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and follow me everywhere else you can find me in my link tree. And I be streaming at present Thursdays to Sundays, varying times. Try and keep it consistent to 4 p.m. Irish time on a Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Irish time on a Sunday, and roughly 8 p.m. on a Thursday, but that's kind of up in the air because of complicated situation that I'm not going to get into here. Anywho, thank you very much for watching. I gotta get used to just aiming slightly higher. I know I've been like, need to look at the camera or like roughly under it. Oh well, let's awkwardly set up the end for this. Anywho, ta-ta, Wiedersehen. Until we meet again. Bye-bye. And stop. Oh, no, there's a button for it. Every time. I forget it every time. Okay, now bye-bye.